Charlie Wallace, President at South Arkansas Community College. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate an Evening with the Stars. This is the 8th time for us to host an Evening with the Stars, and we welcome all of you, including past honorees, members of our college's Board of Trustees, the South Ark Foundation Board of Directors, and the entire South Ark family. An Evening with the Stars is a wonderful way for the South Ark Foundation to recognize friends of the college who have consistently and significantly contributed to South Ark's success by providing improved access to an excellent education for our students. We are also proud to honor outstanding South Ark alumni who have distinguished themselves through career achievement and public service and who bring prestige and pride to the college. It is an honor and privilege to be able to highlight the successes and generous contributions of these individuals to both the college and our community. Thank you for being here. I know you will enjoy this special video presentation of An Evening with the Stars.
Hi, I'm Robin Carroll. Welcome to Evening with the Stars. We're glad to have you with us. The first thing I'd like to do is take a moment to recognize the contributions of Charlie Thomas to the college. Charlie recently passed away, and I'd like to take a moment to have a moment of silence in his memory. Charlie was a cornerstone of this college. He was here from the beginning. Because of a vision between he and Representative Jody Mahoney, they've been here since the beginning, and also I would mention Dr. Carolyn Langston. Since we began this project in 1992 and split off from South Arkansas University, we have grown by leaps and bounds. When I got on the foundation board 23 years ago, we had less than $10,000 in our foundation. Since then, we've raised millions and millions of dollars. We've helped the single parent make it through school. We've helped non-traditional students who decided to come back to school to make their life better. We've helped many people, and that's what the foundation is all about, is helping the students. With the leadership in the past and the foundation, and a wonderful faculty, we have raised the awareness of the importance of this college in our community. The purpose of Evening with the Stars was to elevate the status of the community college in our community. And we believe that this event has done that. We are moving forward with a sports program, possibly student housing, and many other projects that we think you could be excited about. But at the end of the day, what I would most like to do is congratulate all of our honorees tonight and say congratulations and thank you for all of your service and your commitment to South Ark.
The Foundation Board of Directors is proud to recognize the efforts of alumni who have made a significant positive impact on our community and to South Ark. It is my honor to present the prestigious Outstanding Alumnus Recognition to Kenny Hickman, Chief of Police for the El Dorado Police Department. This award recognizes his outstanding achievement in law enforcement and honors his daily tireless work in making our city safe. During his distinguished career, Chief Hickman has been committed to public service and to the safety of our citizens. As an exemplary leader, he has demonstrated to his team the strong core values of valor, integrity, and bravery that are needed to enforce our laws for the good of the whole community. Chief Hickman's strong morals and honesty demonstrate the dedication in reinforcing the police department's mission and the community's expectations of professional policing. When it comes to the knowledge, skills, and ability needed to embody leadership qualities, Chief Hickman has been a successful role model for his police force, especially those who are new to the field of law enforcement. We recognize Chief Hickman's passion for keeping our city safe and his dedication on continuously upgrading excellence within his police department. Please join me in recognizing Chief Kenny Hickman, 2021 Distinguished Alumnus.
Well, to be honest with you, when I came here, which now seems like a long time ago, actually it was a little while ago, out of high school, I had worked for about a year out of high school and just didn't really meld with anything and kind of wanted to broaden the horizons and was, trying to consider. I don't know if kids get out of high school now and know what they want to do with the rest of their life. I sure didn't. And it was an I knew that further education would bring you into more opportunities and all, and it was close. There was an element of safety while you were kind of getting your feel about it. And what I didn't anticipate is when I was kind of feeling my way through was being, I guess, as motivated and particularly one of the classrooms had a teacher, and you'll have to forgive me, I can't even recall his name now, but I can see his face, that just kind of, for the first time I was really captivated in a classroom and enjoying what was going on as opposed to wanting to get out, and be through with my day. I wasn't exactly the most diligent student, and I didn't even actually learn till later to really apply myself, but it started to lay the groundwork. I've given that quite a bit of thought over the years. Like I said, I wasn't exactly a great student when I was in high school because I always had one foot out in doing things I like to do and all that. And I could not have known then what I know now is that my job requires a lot of writing, research, I'm involved in making policy, and all of those things that you need an education for. And I've learned the difficulties, in actually supervising and working with a lot of people over the years. A lot of times people who, even they may be quite articulate, but they're not good at taking the thoughts from here and putting them on paper. And it's kind of known in law enforcement that what's on paper is there forever. And that was prior to the videos, now that are permanent records of events and all. But when I first started, we didn't have that. And what you had was in terms of a permanent record, was a report that you wrote. And now it's just as important because it has to bear consistencies, with the event itself on video and all. But it's a permanent documentation, a permanent record. Goodness, I can't overemphasize what I've already said, and because of the value that it does have. has been invaluable because I think I took away probably to me, the most valuable thing is it kindled something that was developed over years later. You know, like you talked about, I was in school 40 years ago, plus, you know, being 61. Now, it kindled something in me, which was, if I was interested in something, it gave me tools to research. And I remember professors, not only here, but then when I went to Washington, I graduated Washington, that they would question your conclusion. I had a professor, I remember in Washington, raise an eyebrow and say, well, I don't know about that. You know, and you would have to go back and you would have to validate, and in class, basically footnote your conclusion and give rationale by how you arrived at that.
The Distinguished Alumni Award recognizes recipients for their achievements in their chosen profession, for the service to the community, and for outstanding contributions to the college. We are honored to celebrate the accomplishment of our stars, important figures who have helped make this educational institution vibrant and solid. This year's outstanding alumni, Carrie Brown, has a diverse background in the areas of health sciences, teaching, and real estate development. With a steadfast determination and a dedicated commitment, she graduated with an associate's degree from South Ark's Physical Therapist Assistant Program. Her hard work earned her the notable achievement of being named Outstanding Student in her area of study. After graduating from South Ark, Carrie held several high-level positions in the healthcare industry and higher education. She was the director of rehabilitation at a long-term care facility, worked in pediatric and geriatric settings, and ultimately made a return to South Ark, serving as an instructor in the Physical Therapist Assistant Program. Carrie's current professional work includes innovative and creative projects in the real estate development field. Her public service includes serving as a healthcare industry advisor to higher education, presiding as the president of the El Dorado Service League, raising funds for the Share Foundation, and finally making a full circle back to her alma mater, where she currently serves as a trustee on the South Arkansas Community College Board. Carrie's outstanding career accomplishments, professional affiliations, and civic contributions have brought honor and distinction to her past employers, our community, and to South Arkansas Community College. Please join me in recognizing our distinguished alumna for 2021, Carrie Brown.
Well, I developed a real excitement for physical therapy while attending sessions with my mom following a knee surgery. And I was not excited about having to move away to go to PT school. So I moved forward with plans to do so, but I had a nagging dread about it that I just couldn't shake. So I was thrilled to learn that South Ark was developing a PTA program, and my plans immediately changed, and I never looked back. I graduated with my dream job offer, and I just thought it made sense to focus my sights locally prior to moving away. Could always do that later if I wanted to. I feel that my education at South Ark enabled me to enter the workforce as a skilled and confident practitioner. And I went on to be a director and an instructor at South Ark, and I feel that my foundation here enabled me to do that well. I feel like I'm still learning from South Ark in my role as a trustee, because I get to observe and learn from the dynamic and talented staff and faculty and administrators, and they are teaching me how higher ed is done well. And it's been an enjoyable experience to witness and learning from so many talented and successful and driven people, both inside the classroom and out. I would like to thank the foundation for the honor of their recognition and their continued support of our students and our mission. Without our directors, it would be a greater struggle, for sure.
Good morning. My name is Greg Withrow, and I'm the president of the South Ark Foundation in El Dorado, Arkansas, at South Ark Community College. I'm here to honor a very good friend of mine who passed away a few years ago, and his family as friends of the college. I was going to go home today and go get my suit and tie on and take off these work clothes that I have on, but then I realized that Mr. Charles Hayes and the Hayes family that we're honoring today started a construction company, and that I'm honoring that by wearing the clothes that I'm working on as a part of a construction company in El Dorado right now, because this is where he would feel most comfortable. And I also have my mask on because it's COVID, or 2020 changed the world. And so we're doing this virtual today. This presentation normally would be done at the Evening with the Stars with a great dinner and music and laughter, and we have all the pictures taken in the world. But as we all know, the world has changed. And so we're doing this virtually, but the honor and the commitment is still the same. And I'm very proud, as a friend of Charles Hayes and the founder of Hayes Systems Group, to be here today. What is the Friends of a College? The Friends of the College are people that have gone above and beyond to support South Ark Community College. That can be done financially, it can be done with volunteer time, but in the case of the Systems family, it was a major contribution to the college, but also the contributions over the many, many years since I met them in 1985 to El Dorado and this community. So they have supported us as a community throughout all those years. A number of years ago, when we were building the new addition to the school on the East Campus, we were looking at a very large funding request, and we had grant money, and we were looking to honor someone that might want a legacy with a name on a building, and I immediately thought of Charles Hayes. And again, I have known him since I moved to South Arkansas in 1985, and Charles's company, the System Group, was beginning to grow, and they grew into an international, United States renowned company that built paper mills and paper plants and steel mills. And I watched that growth happen, and was excited to actually participate in some of it as a customer. When the call came, I actually called Chuck, Charles' son, and it turned out he was in Australia, and he actually answered the phone and said he was on a boat on the Grand Reef off of Australia. He said, I wouldn't have answered if it wasn't you, and told him when he got back I wanted to talk to him about a legacy opportunity to name a building after his father, which is used for the vocational training of people in South Arkansas. It includes welding, instrumentation, training for operations and maintenance of the chemical plants on this area. And that's what the System Group grew from, was the local area in South Arkansas to the company it came from. Charles Hayes himself grew the company. He originally was a welder, and then became a businessman, and then became an owner, and then grew that company. And now his family legacy is his family continues to operate that corporation. When I approached the Charles family to honor Charles in this legacy, they were very excited, and basically their acceptance of this honor and willing to accept it is very important to me. very emotional because I know how giving Charles was. His family wanted to make this about Charles, and that's really what it is all about. His family, his son and daughter, and extending family will be the ones that accept this award. And Chuck Hayes, his son, who is now running their company, he's accepting it. But it's about a man that grew from his hands to owning a corporation, and the building that's named in his honor on the East Campus exemplifies that work ethic to go work with your hands and grow into something else. And the training building that basically was the beginning of this honor just does that. It gives people a chance to learn, to help work in the jobs that are abundantly available in the world today, but not so many people working in them. And so without this gift of the Hayes family, that would never have been achieved. The recognition of being a friend to the college is just a thank you. We can't thank them enough, but this recognition is what we can do as a foundation of college to thank them publicly for all they have done for our community and this college. Chuck, I can't say enough. I miss your dad. I miss his laugh. Miss working long hours with him, and me wearing this flame retardant outfit, kind of sweating in it right now, is an honor to the fact that he worked hard and grew a business and gave back to his community he lived in. Again, thank you, Hayes family, for accepting this gift or this acknowledgement. And thank you, Charles, for setting the expectation and the example to your family that continue to give to the community. Thank you very much.
Well, the story of the systems group is one that I really enjoy telling. I get the opportunity to tell our employees and customers about the history of the company and how we are all continuing to write something my father started. My father was born just north of El Dorado in Calhoun, Arkansas, in a house with their floors. So he literally started during high school, and after he worked with his hands, he worked at a local concrete plant. It's no longer there. He used to be on South Washington Street working as a bricklayer. He went to college for one semester at SAU in Magnolia. He told me that he had to quit college to support his family, but I think he thought he knew more than all the professors to begin with. So the reason he quit college is the results are not faith. After college, he went into the union apprenticeship program as a pipe fitter and welder, and excelled at his craft. I remember being a young man, or a child actually, the family going on vacations to go to union competitions where they exhibited their skills as pipe fitters and welders. So we all looked up at the old LTD car he had, went to Purdue University one time and to Miami, Florida. As a apprentice in the union, he was actually working as a superintendent in some of the paper mills across Arkansas, what used to be in Camden, Arkansas. But he always wanted to be an entrepreneur, own his own business. So he worked out a deal to buy a local precast concrete business from a guy that he worked for during high school. This guy financed the purchase of the business for my dad, basically because of the relationships he had experienced with my father. He felt like he was a hard worker and would pay him back. So that was his start in business, his concrete products business. But he missed the construction business and started doing work at what was then J&M Poultry. It's now a shut-down poultry facility south of town. That's where he got his start, doing work there on nights and weekends with himself and a few other people doing basically maintenance and new construction. Along the way, he wound up owning 13 coin-operated laundries at one time down the road. Some of those were also purchased from the gentleman he bought the concrete plant from. So my father worked all the time. It was the concrete business during the day, construction, maintenance type work, nights and weekends, and coin-operated laundries on top of it. So all the family worked in that business. The business grew to be a regional mechanical construction company, mainly doing commercial work in office buildings and schools and things like that, plumbing and air conditioning. In 1981, U.S. Steel moved its wire making plant from Worcester, Massachusetts to El Dorado. There's a general contractor named Cameron Head Construction out of Georgia that did a lot of work for U.S. Steel. So Mr. Cameron Head came to El Dorado, got out the phone, started looking for subcontractors to do the work at Abercrombie, what is now Abercrombie. He found Hayes Mechanical, contacted my dad, and we wound up doing a lot of the relocation. Moved that wire making plant from Massachusetts to El Dorado. Fast forward to about 1988, when Nucor-Yamato started building their first steel mill in Arkansas. A young general manager who came to Nucor from U.S. Steel named John Grant called his friend Cameron Head from U.S. Steel days to come to Blytheville and build the office buildings and cafeterias. Mr. Head got to Blytheville. He asked Mr. Head for a recommendation on Arkansas contractors to work on his mill. Basically, he needed some token contractors because they're getting a lot of state concessions. So my father wound up going to Blytheville and meeting with John Correnti. We did a small piping job as far as the steel mill goes and got it. It was the largest thing we'd ever seen up to that point. And a handful of us went up from El Dorado to do that job. We're going to work about 2 months, 4 days a week, get to come home on the weekends, and that lasted for about 1 or 2 weeks. I personally wound up working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for 7 months to complete our part of that job. So we wound up doing about half of the piping on that steel mill. Went from never seeing a steel mill to doing a lot of the piping. At the same time, Nucor Steel was building a new steel mill in Crawfordsville, Indiana. It was about a year behind schedule. So because we did such a good job at Nucor-Yamato, they asked us to go over and finish the piping on that steel mill. And those 2 jobs really catapulted us in the steel industry. And that's how we got our reputation as being piping contractors. Along the way, I guess it was in the mid-'80s, we bought a company called American Steel Company back then. We now call it Systems Fab Machine. It had about 6 employees when we bought it, and today we have 90 employees. In 1999, we bought a business from UCAR Carbon Company that designed and sold electric arc furnace cooling equipment for the steel industry. There's actually a 3D model of some of it here beside us. This is what we manufacture and ship all over the world. And we have this equipment in around 100 steel mills in 20 different countries right now. Have about 80 patents worldwide on it. So we've grown a lot over the years from a gentleman that started a business with nothing to today we run around 700 employees and do around $100 million a year in business. So that's the story to date of Charles Hayes and how we started this business. The technical training is a key part of what we do. All of our people in the field are hands-on people, but they do have to have the technical skills of pipe fitting, welding, rigging, crane operators, millwrights, and those people are hard to find. Not only in El Dorado, not only in Arkansas, but all over the country. The skilled labor shortage is something that we talk to our peer groups about all the time. It's how to solve it, and it's a collective effort, including the employers and the educators and some of our government entities that help put all this together and fund it. So something we all need and something we believe in and something we look to educational institutions like South Ark to help us solve. us to be successful, we have to have teammates to help us get there. And we can't get where we want to go without helping pave the road for those teammates to get that education. That's why when South Ark had the opportunity to build their new training facility, that we stepped up to bat and made a significant contribution to put my father's name on that building. Not only to honor him and his legacy, but to help pave that road forward for all those people that we all desperately need. I don't know that he used the phrase, it's kind of the Butts phrase now, pay it forward, but that was always my father's mindset is, we've all been blessed, my family, our business, our employees along the way, and some of it's greatly so. And it's not only our individual efforts, but it's the efforts of people that come before us. So going back to the paving the road for people, paying it forward for other people, that's something that's just instilled in myself, my family, and a lot of our key managers is we want to help people down the road. Some of it is selfish. Nobody denies that is we need help. But the philanthropy is all about helping others.
Congratulations to all of our award recipients, Carrie, Kenny, and Chuck. You represent the best of South Ark, and we can't thank you enough for your legacy of supporting education and excellence in our community. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this special presentation of An Evening with the Stars. We look forward to seeing you in person at this event next year. Thank you.